This video will be focusing on the correct procedure for blocking and also cubing cheese. Of course, the first step to block cheese would be to make sure everything is correctly sanitized and washed before use. Then, of course, cheese must be removed properly from its packaging. Even though this cheese was properly packaged, there might still be some mold that grew in the creases of the packaging. Be sure to inspect and remove these pieces of mold. What you would be looking for is a green mold or a blue mold that would be growing on the cheese. It is important to cut all blocks uniformly to ensure they will be fitting into the packaging later on. Depending on the size of the block of cheese, it might be easier to work in smaller sections, so be sure to cut the blocks of cheese to properly fit the slicer. After all the blocks have been cut into uniform sizes, they will need to start being packaged. The cubing of cheese starts off with the very same way. Again, be sure all materials are properly sanitized and cleaned. Because we are using the smaller cheese cutter, the blocks will be need to cut into smaller sections in order to fit the slicer. Cubed cheese will be need to cut 3 different times. But again, it is very important that the cheese block should be cut properly to fit the cheese cutter. In order to cut the blocks into cubes, one cut must be going vertically along the block. Again, a slow pressure should be applied to these cheese cutters. A second cut will be made lengthwise along the block. The last cut will be made vertically again, but towards the narrow side of the block. After all 3 cuts have been made to the blocks of cheese, it will be time to break up the cheese into the individual cubes and start packaging.